Hi, it's me, Coco. Today let's look at Minato Namikaze. Do you remember his outstanding role throughout the story? Minato did a splendid job as a fourth Hokage and as a father of Naruto. He was also good looking, had a charming personality, and was Mr. Perfect, except for his terrible sense of naming things. He's likely to be seen as a charisma who had a smooth sailing life, but actually he had experienced many frustrations and setbacks. So, let's have a look at his life, which was full of ups and downs. Minato as a boy. When Minato was a boy, he entered the academy dreaming to be a Hokage someday. There he met his future wife, Kushina Uzumaki. But back then, Kushina had only thought of Minato as a girlish boy who was weak and unreliable. Minato graduated the academy at the age of 10, and when he was 14, an incident happened that made him and Kushina come closer. A shinobi from Kumogakure had attempted to kidnap Kushina. The Kumogakure's team was formed of Chunin and Jonin, but Minato, who was still a mere genin at that time, noticed their attempt and solved the whole situation by himself. Minato noticed Kushina's emergency before anyone else because he found strands of Kushina's bright red hair on the ground, which marked her path. Minato had always cared for Kushina since the academy and tells her that he loves her bright red hair, no matter how the other boys teased her. Kushina answers a little perplexed, "But you never tried to help me before." But Minato holds her like a princess and says, "I didn't want to lose you." Oh, what a handsome thing to say! Tell me, who wouldn't fall for this guy? The way he treats women is perfect and smart, unlike his son Naruto. Anyway, from this moment, Minato wins the heart of Kushina and also starts to show his abilities as a shinobi. Minato as a Jonin. Minato's skill as a shinobi made people say he was a genius born only once in every 10 years, and he became a Jonin at a very young age. He fought for the Third Shinobi World War. Known as the Konoha's Yellow Flash, shinobi from other villages were taught to run away if they saw him, or else they will be killed. As a Jonin, Minato was assigned to be the teacher of Kakashi, Obito, and Rin, but due to wartime, they were not always together. Minato often had to be separated from the team to cover for other missions, and the tragedy happened while he was away. First, the death of Obito. Then, the death of Rin. Both incidents happened while Minato was serving for other missions and wasn't able to rescue them on time. Kakashi never blamed Minato for this, but Obito, who had actually survived, nagged him very much. Inaugurated as the fourth Hokage and his death. After the First Shinobi World War, Hiruzen, the third Hokage, was forced to retire for not claiming compensation to Iwagakure for breaking the peace treaty. Minato was appointed as his successor. Upon becoming the fourth Hokage, Minato appointed Kakashi to the Hokage's Anbu unit. Kakashi had been deeply traumatized by the deaths of Obito and Rin. Minato got married to Kushina and they were blessed to have a baby boy. At this point, all his dreams had come true, becoming a Hokage and having a baby boy with his beloved wife. But then, the worst incident hits Konoha. Obito had attacked the village by manipulating 9 tails. Seeing Kushina's sealing powers weakening during her childbirth, Obito kidnapped Kushina and removed 9 tails from her by force. He then set on 9 tails to attack Konoha. Before Minato could cherish the moment of Naruto's birth, he had to fight 9 tails and Obito. Minato challenged Obito one-on-one, using Hiraishi no Jutsu. He hit against Obito's Dojutsu, Kamui, and smashed the Rasengan from his back. Minato then used the contract seal to release 9 tails' control from Obito. He moved 9 tails away from the village and decided to seal him into Naruto. At first, Kushina was against the idea, but Minato had feared the world would become unbalanced without the presence of 9 tails, and carried on with his plan. Believing that protecting the village would mean protecting Naruto too, Minato performed Shikifujin, that demon-consuming seal, to seal the ing 9 tails into himself, and performed the Hakkefuin, 8-sign seal, to seal young 9 tails to Naruto. During the sealing process, 9 tails resisted and stroked his claws, but Minato and Kushina protects Naruto from the attack by throwing themselves. After completing the seal and making sure Naruto was safe, Minato died. with Kushina in his arms. Encounter with his son. Naruto had lived his whole life not knowing who his father was, until he finally met Minato in the most unexpected way, which was in his mental world. A tough fight against Tendo had triggered Naruto to unseal 9 tails, but meeting Minato brought him back conscious just in time. Minato has sealed a part of himself in Naruto so he could guide him when the 8th tail of 9 tails was unleashed. Minato tells Naruto why he had sealed 9 tails in him, and also the truth about who attacked Konoha in the past. Naruto questions him, "How can I end the chain of hatred?" But Minato says, "I believe in you," and resealed the 9 tails and disappeared. Resurrection by Edo Tensei, Reincarnation Jutsu. During the 4th Shinobi World War, Minato was forced back to life by Edo Tensei, performed by Kabuto. He headed to the battlefield along with other Hokages of the past. They repressed 10 tails with 4 red yang formation, but Obito hindered them. Here, Minato named Naruto and Sasuke's combination jutsu Scorch-style Nimbus Tempest, making the readers laugh with his poor sense of naming skills. After Obito acquired the 6th Path Sage Mode, Minato tried to convince him by saying, "Hokage is what you wanted to become." But Obito backfired him, saying, "You were always too late to help, and I'm glad you were my teacher, because I could easily give up becoming a Hokage." Obito even ripped Minato's arm off. Minato was shocked and blamed himself that if he could have realized Obito 16 years ago, he wouldn't have had to let Kushina die or make Naruto a Jinchuriki. Obito kept attacking and insulting him by saying, "You were my teacher and yet you didn't realize it was me. That's just who you are. You're exposing a disgrace in front of your son." Though Obito acted tough, he might have wanted Minato to notice and help him. Just then, Naruto cuts in and yells, "You have no right to make fun of Hokage, especially not my dad who actually was one," and attacked Obito with Rasengan filled with Sage Mode chakra. After that, Obito remembered his dream to become a Hokage and was defeated. Kakashi tried to end Obito, but Minato stopped him and apologized that it was his fault and that his lack of competence had caused this whole situation. Being able to forgive his student after all those harsh words, I think we can say Minato is such a respectable person. Anyway, after this, Madara Uchiha was resurrected by Rinne Tensei, Gendo Art of Rinne Rebirth Jutsu, and seized 9 tails out of Naruto. Minato tried to transfer In Kurama to Naruto to rescue him. However, Black Zetsu disrupted his plan, and Madara, who had gained the 6th Path's power, tore away his left arm too. Minato trusted others to rescue Naruto, and in the meantime, he supported Might Guy who challenged Madara. Minato protected Guy from Gudodama, the truth-seeking ball, by using Hiraishin, or Flying Raijin Jutsu, and became unconscious. When Minato regained consciousness, Mugen Tsukuyomi, Infinite Tsukuyomi, had already been activated. With Hagoromo's guidance, he and other Hokages summoned Naruto and others from Kaguya's dimension. Just before Edo Tensei gets released, the date turned to October 10th, and Minato celebrated Naruto's birthday for the first time ever, saying, "Happy birthday, Naruto. You have become a brilliant man." Naruto, shedding his tears, told Minato that he will surpass him as a Hokage, and that there's nothing to worry about. Minato promised to deliver his message to Kushina as well, and disappeared to heaven, smiling. Summary. So we've just seen the life of Minato Namikaze. Though he seemed charismatic, genius, and smart, we can see that he had experienced lots of regrets and frustrations, like turning Obito on the dark side and making his son a Jinchuriki. On top of that, almost all of his subordinates ended up dying, and he and his wife had been killed on their son's birthday. His life was actually full of regretful events. But in the end, he was able to see how strong his son had become, and he was able to go back where Kushina was without regret. Let's hope they will be happy in their afterlife. Tell me, what do you like about Minato? Share your ideas below. Please leave your comments below.